It's a great day in South Carolina. I've heard that before somewhere. Got to play to the audience, right? And I've been down to South Carolina before to talk to the legislators about how ranked choice voting saved the Republican Party of Virginia. Now, those of you who might not want that, you're going to be talking to people who would want that here, as I understand about your legislature. And I'm going to take you to, very quickly, what happened in Virginia and why ranked choice voting literally saved the Virginia Republican Party. As Nicole noted, the Virginia Republican Party had not won a statewide election since 2009. They were 0 for 12. Okay, that's a bad record. And they were, after the midterms and after the presidential election in 2020, they were trying to decide the manner of their nomination, convention or primary. Now, this had been an annual battle royale in the state central committee every year for only about 50 years. It's an exhausting process if you're a Republican in Virginia. Well, after the 20 election, I called the executive director of the Republican Governors Association, the person in charge of running every single gubernatorial election for the Republicans nationally. He also happened to be my campaign manager for my first election. The guy's name's Dave Rexroth. I called him up and I said, the guy basically lived in my house for a year. I said, Rex, are y'all going to invest in Virginia in 2021? He said, Sax, we are not. The governors have budgeted $0 for Virginia. I said, Dave, if that's the case, we're going to lose in 2021, we'll lose statewide sweep, we'll lose the House, and Virginia Republicans will be wiped off the map for a generation. The Virginia Republican Party, when I was elected, had 2 U.S. senators, previously 2 governors, and a supermajority in the House. In just short 20 years, we were on the verge of extinction to be a third party, literally, and I told him this, I said, Dave, we're going to be a third party in a 2-party system. And the executive director of the Republican Governors Association said, yes, you will. And he is from Virginia. This is the Virginia story. It's a good one. It's instructive. At that same time, perhaps you remember a little scuffle that took place on January 6, 2021. You remember that one? A little dust up across the River Potomac, right? At that same time, the State Central Party of Virginia was trying to determine their nomination method, and they couldn't. And they took their dysfunction global by streaming it online. And the entire narrative became, these people can't even determine their own method of nomination. How the hell could they ever run the Commonwealth? And it's a valuable reality. It's valid point. Well, they said, well, let's do a convention primary hybrid, but we'll use ranked choice voting. That was their compromise. And everyone said, what the hell is ranked choice voting? And they said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do ranked choice voting. It's part of Robert's Rules of Order. Oh, and we did it last year to pick our state chairman. It seemed to work pretty well. So I interviewed all these candidates who ran for office in Virginia. It was like 17 statewide candidates. Many of them were my former colleagues. I knew all their campaign managers. It was online through Zoom. It was COVID, perhaps you recall that as well. So fast forward, the day of the counting of the ballots, it was hand counted paper ballots, party run, okay? This is the height of election integrity for the Republican Party nationally. It was super white hot issue. The day of the counting, I saw one of my former legislative aides, who was a campaign manager for the gentleman who finished second in the balloting for governor, self-funded businessman who had run statewide before. And I said, hey, Tim, how you doing? He said, Sax, I know you're with Youngkin, but, I can't stand this damn ranked choice voting. I was like, well, A, I'm not with for Glenn Youngkin. I mean, I'm not. I don't work on his campaign. But why don't you like ranked choice? And I'd never really examined it before. He goes, well, if it wasn't for this damn ranked choice voting, we could have ripped the bark off that guy. And we might have won this election. I said, let me get this straight. You're upset because you couldn't attack a fellow Republican in the state in which you had won an election in 12 years? I think your math is off. And he's like, yeah, but we want to, but well, why couldn't you attack him? Because we didn't want to lose his voters. And what happened was the Republican Party quickly coalesced behind Glenn Youngkin, who had very low unfavorables in the election. He was not branded by his own party negatively. And he was able to come in while the Democrats were having their own primary battle And they were able to come in and say, hey, here's Glenn Youngkin, he's a great guy, and turn the brand of Virginia Republicans around and to be in place to end up bringing down the national money from the RGA, which was $15 million. They took over the ground game, Afghanistan withdrawal, a debate mess up by Terry McAuliffe. Lo and behold, Glenn Youngkin is on a path to victory in which the Republicans sweep. But for ranked choice voting, that does not happen. And they still go, we shouldn't do ranked choice voting. Guys, why don't you like this thing that worked for you so well? You've nominated congressional candidates after this. You've nominated members to the House of Delegates with this. You've used it throughout the entire system. The state central party of Republicans voted down a resolution banning it 2-1. The state central committee now supports it. But there's this movement nationally among Republicans to ban it. Well, I'm not a fan of bans and mandates to begin with. I'm a freedom-loving guy, right? But there's a couple of points I want to make, and I'll be wrapping it up. The RNC, without debate, passed a resolution saying we ban ranked choice voting. We don't support it. This was in 2023. They banned it. They don't like it. Last year, that same RNC sent out emails using ranked choice voting to raise money. They said, hey, rank your choices for president and send us $25. Ron DeSantis signed a bill famously banning ranked choice voting in Florida. Remember that? Banned it. Can't use it in Florida. Guess what Ron DeSantis' super PAC used to determine his ad scripts and issue sets during his ill-fated run for president? Guess what he used? His PAC. Over the motorcycle, sir. What was that? Yeah, he used ranked choice voting. It's a useful tool in the electoral toolbox. My focus is getting on the parties to improve their health by using it internally. The focus here is municipal elections, nonpartisan municipal elections. That will increase the health of democracy at your local level, which is extremely important, because that's where a lot of decisions are really made. And dialing down the partisan rancor, dialing down the attacks, working on solutions, getting people to work together is what we're supposed to be doing. We all have different ideas. I get it. I'm a conservative, but I know it works. And that's why I'm down here today, because I believe in it. I know it works. I know it's going to be good for the Commonwealth, the state of South Carolina, and the Republic writ large. And I want to thank you all for coming out and getting through this tough weather. I'm sure you'll survive. I heard you had snow. Congratulations. How was that, right? Anyway, it's great to be here in South Carolina with all my good friends, and I look forward to carrying the mantle and hopefully getting the legislature to see the opportunity of granting local government the freedom to determine their own outcomes. Thank you all.